Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is Rich Harshaw here as usual. Today I have a special guest with me. His name is Max Mead. He's the CEO and co-founder of a company called Alivo, not Alivo, Alivo. Max, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well, Rich. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so what you guys do is you've got an AI agent slash chatbot for roofing companies. And it's got some pretty unique features. In fact, I think it's the first one that I've seen that could be considered schizophrenic. And that sounds like
How
a
do you mean,
negative.
Rich?
It's actually not. It has multiple personalities. And I think you'll give us an idea of what that is. There's a lot of bots out there, a lot of these AI agents, but I think you've got a lot of really interesting things that are unusual that set you guys apart. So let's just dive right in. Tell us about Alivo.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. I'm definitely glad to be here. At Alivo, we build AI agents for roofing and exterior contractors. So we only work within that space, and our agents are hyper specialized at certain tasks. So our favorite
Wait,
agent
hold on.
is
Before you proceed, roofing and other exterior contractors. So there's a ton of
sure.
people that listen to this podcast that are selling windows, siding, gutters. Are those all going to fit within this?
Yeah, totally. Windows, siding, gutters, decks, even fences will work within the exterior trades.
Okay. Would you consider concrete coatings like for garages? Yes or no?
Yeah, we actually would. And we do have some folks that it's kind of a newer niche for us. But when we talk about how Alivo is custom trained to the specific industries, what that really means is that our LLMs are different. They're fine-tuned to the industry. So when it's having these conversations back and forth and someone asks a question like, I don't know, what do ventilation issues have to do with me needing to replace my roof? And why is that a problem now? And how can we prevent it from being a problem in the future? It's not just going to come up with some generic answer like a traditional chatbot where it says, I don't know, we can address that later. It actually knows the answer. We've trained it on the specific trades that we work in. So roofing has been our niche, and we've started in roofing and we're focused on other exterior trades now. But we really try to stay within that wheelhouse because it's what makes Alivo so powerful.
Okay, and sorry to kind of cut you off right at the beginning on that, but I know who the audience is here, and I just want to make sure that the majority of people go, oh, okay, well, this is something for me. By the way,
Sure.
audience, we're going to be doing a screen share demo here in a minute because I really want you to see this is really cool. So stay tuned for that. First, though, now go ahead and continue to explain what the heck Alivo is.
Sure. So these agents that we build are not agents that just do everything in your business. They hyper specialize in these certain workflows. So our favorite agent we've named Lily, and Lily is there to answer inbound phone calls. So when calls are coming in during business hours and your team's too busy to pick them up, or let's say after business hours you don't have someone on staff, or maybe you have a third party answering service right now and it's kind of working for you, it's kind of not. Lily is able to pick up all those inbound phone calls that your team can't. And when she picks up phone calls, she's able to answer questions in the same way that you would as the business owner, or perhaps in the way your best sales guy would. She's able to qualify leads so that you can get the same sort of information collected that your CSRs are collecting as part of their standard SOP right now. And she's also able to book appointments. So when we book the inspections for a roofing contractor, we're putting that right into the CRM with the right sales guy who focuses on retail residential jobs that have had a roof over 30 years and their tile, right? We're able to take all that information and make sure that we're booking with the right person.
All
So,
right, so let me dig in here a little bit. So first of
yeah,
all,
please.
based on what I just heard you say, the third party overflow or overnight or whatever call center not needed anymore.
Yeah, totally. We end up replacing those. And even, I'm not going to say that all of them are bad. I definitely think there's a spectrum. Some are pretty high quality and some are lower quality and perhaps a bit cheaper. And a lot of our contractors end up moving from those solutions to Alivo because they actually feel like they can trust it in a way that they couldn't with their third party answering
Okay.
service.
Okay. Well, and I'm just trying to tie the bow here. If you're using Lily and ostensibly some of these other agents, you wouldn't need
Sure,
the overflow call center for weekends, for overnights, for anything, because this will handle all of them. Because you did say,
totally.
during work hours, but obviously this would work just fine for after work hours as well, I'm assuming.
Totally. So typically our customers have a team of CSRs or they have an office manager who's answering the phone. But what we find is even during business hours, if you have three CSRs and you have four phone calls come in, If that fourth phone call is going to your third party service or going to voicemail, it would be better off going to Lily. So we
Do you
work
have
around
any
the clock.
studies that show, I'm going straight for the jugular here, okay?
Let's do it, Rich.
Do you have any studies that show if Lily is actually better than the live humans or not better, perhaps?
Good question. So yes, we definitely do, and we have found that Lily is better than the live humans on the third-party answering services. Now, what I tell our customers,
Okay.
if you have a CSR who works with you every single day, who understands the workflows of the business, that's what we train Lily on. So of course your CSR is going to be better at answering the phone, but your CSRs don't work 24/7, right? They have to take vacation every once in a while. They have to sleep at the very least. So we train our system on the workflows that the CSRs are doing today, and we're here to help when the CSR can't answer that call. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
well, let me tell you where CSRs are not good, in my
Sure.
opinion. And I agree with you that CSRs, if trained properly and have some experience, can do a fabulous job, probably better than Lily. But here's where, okay, I'm a little bit weird. Okay. Most contractors say, have a phone call come in and they're going to do something approximating the following. They're going to find out the contact information. They're going to do a small amount of qualification. They're going to set the actual appointment. And then they're going to basically say, great, we're done. So, contact information, qualification, appointment set, done.
Sure.
Okay, great. Here's what I want. I want all of that stuff because obviously those are critical factors, but I also want to do a little bit of selling on this first
Totally.
call. Now, I don't want them to try to sell the product if it's a roof. I don't want them to go into selling roofs, but I do want them to jump into what I would consider what we call at level 10 identity-based content. In other words, things that we do that make us different and better and unique that would set us apart from our competitors. So,
Sure.
as an example, I'm just making this up off the top of my head, okay? I might want them to say something about our sales process is not high pressure sales and that we're there to help you understand your options. We're going to take measurements. Actually, we probably won't because we're using uh, satellite
Eagle View or
measurements,
whatever.
whatever,
Yeah.
AI measurements. But we're going to show you the different options, different colors, different warranties, et cetera. And then we're going to step back and let you decide. Other companies,
Totally.
they send their salespeople to week-long uh, sales boot camps where they learn, compliance tactics. That's not what we're all about. So maybe I've got a 20 or 30-second dialogue, hypothetically, about
Sure.
the sales process. And I want the CSR to go through that, but because there's perhaps other calls coming in, that tends to get skipped, or
Sure.
they just don't want to say it, or they develop an attitude which is, well, that's really long. People don't want to hear all that. I'm like, yeah, but they're going to listen to whatever you freaking say, so
Yeah.
say it. So I'm assuming that I could train Lily on top of the basics, the fundamentals, the nuts and bolts of getting the appointment qualification, et cetera. I could say, hey, Lily, I also want you to go through X and Y. This script is going to be 22 seconds. This one's going to be 30 seconds, whatever.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad that you brought that up because it's a matter of like using AI and these AI agents to actually build rapport with the homeowner so that they don't cancel their appointment if someone else is able to book sooner and they do end up calling another roofer, right? And Lily is able to get trained on that same sort of rapport building methodology that you instill in your CSRs. But the cool thing about Lily is she's going to carry it out every single time, right? Now, Lily is also going to do follow-ups like appointment confirmations or reminders on appointments, and those are also great ways to custom train Lily to personalize what that follow-up or appointment reminder looks like so that it's not all happening on the phone. We've also found with the way that we train our agents, AI is different than a human, and the way that AI builds rapport is very different than the way a human builds rapport. So if your AI agent is asking about, oh, like, do you have kids? That's kind of weird, right? That doesn't come off in the same way as a CSR who's actually genuinely curious whether or not they have kids and they want to start to build rapport over that sort of conversation. Lily has to keep it a lot more professional, and she will do that because we train her to do that. But she can also build rapport, and we have scripts that we can provide our roofing contractors that help them build rapport using AI, help them educate their clients on what makes their business different than the competitors throughout the reminder sequence, things that will help drive conversion when the sales guy actually gets to the home.
Okay, so you and I are singing out of the same hymnal right now.
Totally.
And again, my complaint is that those extra scripts are very difficult, even for really good CSRs, to get them to do it consistently. I remember one time
Totally.
a roofing company, this is probably a decade ago, was working with this company and we created a pretty detailed script. It was pretty long. Like, so set the appointment, qualify, et cetera, get the contact information. But then we went into this thing about, it was a metal roofing company, about metal roofing, trying to just set a little bit of a tone for, um, hey, you're aware that metal roofing is different than regular roofing, right? And
Mhm.
give them a little bit of what to expect. And then also, I always like to integrate this no sales pressure dialogue because they're signing up for a sales meeting.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a
Whether
scary
they
thing to sign
realize it
up
or
for.
not.
So I want to let them know. So we started seeing this client's set rate go down, 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 down from whatever it was acceptable to down. And we started troubleshooting, and sure enough, the girl who was supposed to be doing it just stopped. Well,
Yeah,
why did you stop? Well, it seemed really long. Well, it's not really your decision to make,
sure.
Lily. In your case, Lily. But the robot's going to do whatever the heck we tell it to do. So,
Totally.
anyway, keep going. So she's going to do
Yeah.
the inbound call and the follow-up, Lily, correct?
Yeah, so what's cool is we also have an agent named Evan, and Evan's in charge of following up on all the digital leads. So if you use lead aggregators, you have people that go onto your website using Google local service ads, Evan's going to instantly reach out. Evan's going to follow up. And what's cool is Lily and Evan can actually work together as part of that follow-up sequence. So Evan always starts with a text message just because we found that to be one of the most effective forms of communication. But of course, making an outbound phone call has to be part of that follow-up process, and Lily and Evan will do that together. So that's been really effective for driving conversion from all the digital lead sources that our contractors are using.
Okay, what do you mean they work together? So, like, I understand what Lily does. I understand what Evan does. I'm not quite seeing how they work together.
Sure. So let's say you fill out a form on a roofing contractor's website. You're a
Yep.
homeowner and you let's say you fill out like a roofal quote. You get an instant quote or something like that,
Yep.
right? Well, Evan is going to reach out to you instantly and start to qualify you as a lead, start to build rapport, start having that conversation via text message. And Evan strictly operates via text message as well as email. And Lily strictly operates over the phone. So now Lily can actually
Ah,
jump in and make an outbound phone call, but she'll have the full context and even say, "Hey, I saw that you were chatting with Evan about that roofal quote that you got online," right? And now Lily can speak to that conversation and take that conversation further ultimately into booking that appointment and building that rapport. Does that make sense?
okay. So Evan is strictly text and email, and Lily is going to
Correct.
be the voice. Okay,
Yep.
so like I can hypothesize here, and I think I would probably do a pretty good job, but I'm going to just let you explain this. Explain the benefit of having two different entities as far as the prospect is concerned. Like
Sure.
their perception is there's a person named Evan, there's also a person named Lily. What's the benefit of that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So there's a couple things. One, for our contractors, just so we're on the same page, it makes it much easier to understand the use cases that the agents are able to help with. It helps with setting up integrations and things like that. But from the homeowner perspective, having this system that's on the back end with Evan communicating with you, having Lily communicating with you, it helps you seem bigger as a company. And it also helps you when you're on the phone with Lily know, hey, the fact that Lily understood my conversation that I already had with Evan, she has that in her context, in her brains as we're communicating, makes me understand that this is something that can actually help me, right? We also find if Evan reaches out, let's say 15 minutes before the phone call and says, "Hey, I'm going to call you in 15 minutes. Will you be available?" And using that text message will also help increase the answer rates on the phone calls. So we found that these kind of agents working together, there's a lot of different sort of scripts and methodologies that we can use to increase our answer rates and increase our connect rates, how long we'll be on the phone with someone, and then of course the appointment site rate as well.
And can I assume that the two entities, Lily and Evan, reference each other in their
As
conversations with
such,
the
yeah,
clients?
yeah,
Do
absolutely.
they have last names?
No, they do not have last names. That's a good question. You could always give Lily and Evan a last name if you'd like, but I don't know what would happen if you asked them if they have a last name.
Okay. Just like I'm just wondering if Evan sends an email, does he do like have a signature with a name?
Good question. Yeah, so we typically just have a signature for like the company. So it'll have like your logo, the phone number of the company, which if they call, obviously they'll be able to get in touch with a member of the team. Might be a Lily, and then it'll just be the name of the company.
Okay, great. So we got Lily and Evan. Give us some more of your personalities here.
Yeah, so the other two agents that we have are Alex, and Alex is a really cool agent. He's relatively new. We've only had him for the past couple of months. But what Alex is in charge of is getting proposals or estimates signed. So as a contractor, once I've put together my inspection report, once I've put together my proposal, I can now use Alex to actually send that to the homeowner. And what's so cool about Alex is he can communicate via text message, email, and phone call. And Alex is reading the inspection report, is reading the proposal in real time in order to answer questions, in order to handle objections, provide assurance to the homeowner that, hey, we know what we're doing, and ultimately can take you through kind of like a DocuSign type flow in order to sign that proposal. So you upload all that information into Alex, and in real time, he's having that sort of, he takes all that information, digests it, and is able to communicate to the homeowner in the same way that you would train like your sales reps to as part of a rehash campaign. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so the benefit of Alex then is he, I guess it's a he,
Yeah,
is going to be more consistent and reliable at actually reaching out and doing it than perhaps your internal staff who
totally.
maybe gets sends an email, doesn't hear back, or makes a phone call, leaves a message, and after one or two attempts is like, and they just kind of forget.
Totally. What we find in general is the contractors that we work with have a great SOP for follow-ups that they wrote however long ago. And they tell all of their inside sales reps, hey, when you send out the proposal, you're going to make three phone calls, you're going to send two text messages, you're going to send six emails. Making these things up. Every contractor has their own
Yep.
SOP. We upload that into Alex, and Alex does it every time. Because what we find in reality, when we go look at the CRM, we look at the engagement activity within the CRM, we're getting one phone call, maybe two. It was a voicemail. The second one, they didn't even bother leaving a voicemail. They thought maybe they call back. Maybe they have an automated email drip that goes out, but the email is not delivering and no one caught it. The systems that our contractors have in place for reaching out on proposals is it could be a lot better, right? And that means we're only closing the deals that are super high propensity, where people just close in a straight line and it makes it super easy, simple, and smooth for that conversion, but we're missing the rest that needed that extra follow-up, that needed that extra conversation, that had a hesitation that needed to be handled. And what's cool about Alex is 24/7, he's able to have this conversation. And if someone has an objection or has a hesitation, he can actually talk about it and understand it and within minutes come back with an answer. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. All right, tell me
Cool.
about your fourth, and I think final. I think there's just four
Yep,
agents,
you got it
right?
right. So there's four agents, and the last one is Jenna. So Jenna is here to help you build the business organically, is the way that we look at it. So when you complete a job, she's able to go out and ask for a review, right? That's pretty simple. A lot of solutions do that, but she can also continue nurturing your past customers long term. So being able to say things like, "Hey, we're going to be at a home show. We'd love for you to stop by because we had a great experience doing your roof last month," right? Or, "Hey, would you mind reaching out to some neighbors that look like the roof is in similar shape as yours, and we'd love an opportunity to do an inspection with them. And if you can bring someone over that ends up doing their roof with us, we'll buy you steak dinner at XYZ Steakhouse, right?" So being able to have this long-term nurture and get trained on the different tactics and methodologies and strategies that you're currently doing to build your business organically, Jenna's going to be there to help with that. Does that make sense, Rich?
I think let's assume that a company has an actual person doing those things that you just mentioned. So number one,
Sure.
like with Alex, the likelihood that it actually gets done is relatively low because of overload, whatever reasons. But number two, I'm just thinking through this. Let's say a company uses an online, excuse me, a text follow-up, an email follow, something like Hatch, okay, where they're going to send a
Sure.
text, they're going to send an email, maybe they've got a like a ringless voicemail. Like the idea that it's Jenna and it's always Jenna and there's a consistency with Jenna and over time they start to recognize this thing called Jenna, I think is very
Mm.
interesting and unusual.
Gotcha. So you mean like if I worked with ABC Roofing Company and Jenna's reached out 6 times over the past year and a half, the fact that it's always been Jenna who's kind of maintaining that relationship, you think
I think
that
that's
that could
very
provide value?
unusual.
Yeah, no, I haven't really thought about it like that, but I think it's going to build rapport and trust with that company so that when my roof is leaking, for sure I'm going to be calling ABC Roofing, and you know who I'm probably going to call is Jenna because I know she's always been there for me.
Well, I think let me say it slightly differently. I think if other companies use automated follow-up systems, I don't think they're using a personality to do it. I think it's just like, hey,
Mm,
the ABC roofing team,
sure, totally.
or I don't know what they're doing, but to me, it seems very interesting and advantageous to have this Jenna be the designated person that, oh, again, over time, look, let's face it, the majority of people that are receiving these communications aren't paying any attention. They don't care. Their roof got fixed. Quit bothering me.
Sure.
Oh, this is them again, whatever. I just ignore it. Okay. I
Sure.
know this because I had auto glass repaired on my driveway about 3 weeks ago, and I keep getting these follow-up emails and texts, and I'm just like, ugh, I got it. But you know
Yeah.
what? They're not coming from Jenna.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull it
It's true.
up. I
I'm
just
sure they're
I
not.
just hit stop today. Here it is. Thanks for having your vehicle repaired at Glass America 146.
Yeah. Come on,
146, I
guys.
guess, is their 146th location of that.
I'm
We
sure.
would
Yeah.
like to ask about your experience, and then you can see on here, maybe you can't, you can't see it, but there's this like 5 line link because it's a text, right? And it just keeps,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no personality to this at all. None.
Totally.
Thanks for having your vehicle repaired at Glass America 146. We would like to ask you about your experience. Hey, it's Jenna over at Glass America. Thanks for having us replace your glass. We'd love to get some feedback. Would you take a minute and fill this out?
Totally. Well, the other thing too, Rich, that I think is so interesting is like, would you reply to that text that you got? Of course not, right? Like, why would like you wouldn't
It
expect a response
clearly,
if you did. It clearly came from a bot. And
yeah.
one of the things that we see with Alivo is the texts that we send are so conversational. It's so rare that we don't get a reply
Do you
because
guys do
you
the like intentional misspellings and stuff like that?
You know, we don't actually. We can, and we have a few customers that have tried that. But in general, our contractors are like, it's not as professional as we want to kind of. Our brand is professional. We don't want misspellings. We don't want to use the letter U instead of YOU. Now, the system could do that, and we could train it to do that. But in general, our contractors are
Yeah,
trying to
well,
maintain
look,
a level of
I,
professionalism.
I think it's a minor detail. I think the major detail is, hello, this is Glass America 146.
Yeah, like
Great.
okay,
Leave me alone. Quit
leave me
harassing
alone.
me. Jenna, that
Totally.
sounds more interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and it's
Hey, thanks for blah, blah,
conversational.
blah. We'd like to reach out. Could you do me a favor? If you have any questions, feel free to ask me here. That just seems
Totally.
like a person. I like it. I love it.
Cool. So
As
those are the
was
four agents
famously
that
said
we
in a movie
have.
one time, I like it a lot.
There it is.
Okay, why don't you demo this for us? Let's take a quick look. Do
Yeah.
you mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to show you what the system looks like here. Just give me 1 second to bring it up here. Let me know if you can see that. Okay.
All right, we got it on the screen. No problem.
All right, perfect. So this is an example of a conversation that was actually started by Evan. So Max Smith here came in through an online form, right? Now, when Max Smith came in through an online form, let's say it was a little text us widget on the website, which is something that we include with Evan or he comes in through that contact us form, you're going to get a text message to Max Smith instantly. So here it says, "Hey Max, thanks for reaching out to Acme Roofing. We'd love to help. What's going on with the roof?" Right? We can also send a photo of you and your team in front of a decal truck in front of a recent home, something to help you guys stand out a little bit.
All
Now,
right.
Max here replies, "My roof is leaking. I think it's from that storm we had last week." And the system is able to start going through this process of qualifying the lead, asking the questions that the CSRs would ask. It's able to follow up when the lead starts to go cold, and that includes text message conversations, emails that the system is able to send. And then, of course, like I mentioned earlier, when Evan and Lily work together, Lily can make an outbound follow-up call as part of that process too. And I could go ahead and play that for you, Rich, if you'd like.
Yeah, go for it.
This is Lily over at Acme Roofing. I'm their AI agent on a recorded line. I saw you came in a few days back with a roof leak, and I'm here to help.
Hey, Lily, I appreciate you giving me a call. Sorry, I think I dropped off that text chain.
No worries at all. Glad we could reconnect. We can definitely help you get that squared away. Have we had the pleasure of working with you before?
No, this would be our first time working together.
Welcome. We're so glad you reached out. Can I ask how you heard about us?
I just noticed that my neighbor has a yard sign with your name on it, so I decided to reach out.
That's wonderful. It's always nice when neighbors spread the word. Let's get you on the schedule then. I just have two quick questions so I can set you up in the system. First, do you know what type of roof you currently have?
Yeah, I think it's just an asphalt shingle.
Perfect. Thank you for letting me know. Next, do you happen to know how old your roof is?
We've lived in this house for 15 years, and when we bought it, they said it was fairly new, so I'm guessing it's like 20 years old.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, let's schedule an appointment for you. What name should I put that under?
My name is Max, M-A-X.
Thanks, Max. Let's find a time that works best for you. What day and time would you prefer for the appointment? We can do Monday through Friday, anytime between 9 and 5.
Whatever your soonest available is would be best. This is pretty urgent.
Let's see, just a second. Our first available slot is at 12 p.m. on Thursday, August 7th. How does that sound?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Okay, just a moment, please. Perfect. You're all scheduled for August 7th at noon. You should receive a text message confirmation shortly. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
How long will the appointment take?
Great question, Max. The inspection usually takes about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on what we find and how easy the roof is to access. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Thanks so much for the help.
You're welcome, Max. We look forward to seeing you soon. If you need anything else before then, just let us know. Have a great rest of your day.
Pretty cool, right, Rich?
Okay, so then who sends the text message? Is that Evan or is that Lily?
It's a good question. So it doesn't actually have a name with the confirmation text that goes out, but when you start texting back and forth, let's say you had a follow-up question like, oh, I got to reschedule, something like that. Evan's going to be able to have that conversation.
Okay. All righty. Just looking at the screen there. Okay.
So what's
Okay,
cool
and I
about
see.
Alivo, just since you can see it here, is all that information that's collected gets stored on that contact record, and we
Yep.
integrate directly with your CRM too. So whether you're using AccuLynx, Job Nimbus, House Call Pro, what have you, we're going to add all that information into your CRM, but we're also scheduling and booking within your CRM too. So it's not like just we're pushing information in like appointments and that sort of thing. We have a pull and push type relationship with your CRM. So this is kind of like having one of your CSRs handling the phones and doing the exact same workflows that you would be doing with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty clear cut. Thanks for sharing that demo.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna. Anything else you want to show? Okay, good.
No, I think that's good.
Um, let's get to where the rubber meets the road. How much it costs to use this thing?
Yeah, fair. So all of our agents start at 500 bucks a month. And the cool thing is when you have agents working together as a team, we give you a discount too. So you can even get three agents for the price of two. And then as you build out that agents, if you have all four, we have discounts available for that as well.
And is there a usage limit? If you're a big company, does it cost more? How does that work?
Yeah, good question. So each agent comes with 100 contacts, and that's 100 people that the agent can communicate with in a month. And what that looks like is let's say you have a spam caller come in and they're trying to sell Lily on something. The system will automatically recognize that it was a spam call and we're not going to count that as a contact, right? This is people that actually have a genuine back and forth conversation with your agents. And if Lily, Evan, Alex, and Jenna all communicate with that one single contact in a given month, that still just counts as one contact. And if you get
Okay.
a team of agents, then you get an additional number of contacts. You can get like if you have three agents, you get 300 contacts, and then we have like bulk pricing available as well for anything over that 300 if you have a ton of volume.
Okay. Okay. So maybe $1,000 a month for three agents and a little bit more than that for all four, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say most of our customers end up starting with three, and then a lot of them will add in a fourth at some point because they find like, hey, this is really working for me, turning my business. Now I want to do something with rehash, and we'll use Alex for that.
Okay. Very cool. I mean, I've seen a lot of AI agents out there. They all have slightly different use cases, but I'll tell you what I really like about this. I love that you've got different agents for different jobs. I think it, you know, I like that Lily on that phone call. She's like very upfront. I'm an AI agent. We're not trying to fool
Yeah,
anybody. I think we're at least close, if not already there, to people being like, okay, it's AI. I'll talk to it.
totally. We've
You
seen
know,
adoption just increase so fast with hearing it's
yeah.
AI. We like track how often people hang up when they hear that. And in the beginning, when we first started Alivo a few years ago, it was people were much faster. Now they're like, yeah, it's AI. Like, can you book an appointment? Okay, perfect. Then what are your questions? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think people are coming around to the idea that, oh, it's actually probably better in a lot of ways because my option is to maybe not get in touch with an actual person. So I'd rather talk to this robot. But I like how they work together. So this is a really cool product. How'd you get into this, Max?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, Rich. So my background is actually in CRM development and chatbot development at Fortune 100 companies. And it's interesting because when you're at a Fortune 100 company and you're working at chatbot, you have one goal and one stat that you track as a company, and that's called call deflection. How can we keep a person from getting in touch with a human, right? Because humans are expensive. And when you're at a Fortune 100 company and you have 1,000 people in a call center, the less people that are waiting in a queue to talk to someone, the happier customers are, in theory, anyways, right? So with Alivo, though, we've taken a very different approach because a roofing contractor is not here to deflect as many calls. A lot of our roofing contractors would say, man, if I knew how many calls are coming in after hours and how low our appointment set rate is, the owners of these companies are like, well, I should be answering these calls on the weekends. But the volume's too high. It doesn't make sense, right? They're trying to delegate, they're trying to scale. How can we do that without making the owners answer those phone calls on the weekend? And that's where Alivo really comes in. Our goal is not to deflect as many calls as possible. It's our goal is to help contractors scale their business and provide a solution that can actually accomplish a goal when you're on the phone. That's scheduling appointments, that's answering questions, that's qualifying leads, that's getting proposal side. It's creating automation that doesn't actually put the business first, it puts the customer first at the same time. And that's really why we started Alivo, because we felt that with the new technology that we have, using large language models in this sort of capacity is something that even the Fortune 100 companies weren't doing yet. Does that make sense?
It does. So how can people learn more? Alivo.ai?
Yeah, go to our website. It's Alivo, ALIV as in Victor O dot AI. You can book a demo with a member of my team. And what's cool about that is you actually get to learn about these agents. We get to learn a little bit more about your business and we get to find out exactly how Alivo and our agents might actually work in your business. And then what's cool about that too is you get to try the system live. Text back and forth with Evan, talk on the phone with Lily, have a back and forth conversation and throw some objections at Alex. And as you have those conversations, you'll get to see how this thing would act as if it was working for your business.
All right. I see we got Lily, Evan, Alex, and Jenna here. Okay, so it's like Alamo, right? It kind of
Yeah,
rhymes or
kind of.
sounds like Alamo.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. All right. Well, Max, thanks for being on the podcast today. Happy to share this with the audience. I think it's a great tool. And if people want to sign up, what they can come on here and book a call. Is that right?
Yeah, and there should be a link too in the description that goes to a page that we have just for level 10. And what's cool about that page is if they go there and they book a demo with us, we actually waive the onboarding fee as part of our partnership. So we do have a 24.99 onboarding fee. But if you're listening to this podcast and this seems interesting to you, make sure to use that link because we can get you an offer that you won't find anywhere else.
And what is the link again?
It should be in the description for the podcast.
Okay, we'll
It's
find that in the description. Yes. Okay.
yeah.
Because I don't know what it is, and
I
clearly
sent
you
it
don't
to
know
your
what it
team.
is. So somebody knows what it is. We'll get it on there. No problem. Check the description. If you're on YouTube, you can just check down there. If you're on your favorite podcast app, we'll put it in there as well. So, hey, Max, thanks for that. Appreciate waiving that onboarding fee for our listeners, and
Absolutely.
look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. It was good to be on.